From the small mountain town of Dogville, it's the IGN Digigods. And now, please welcome two men who didn't abuse Grace Mulligan, Wade Major and Mark Kaiser.
Wow, a Von Trier reference. Hey, Corey, who is so sophisticated that they would send that one in?
That was written by Kevin Lower. Sorry, I tried to say it lower.
Uh-huh. And speaking of Von Trier, that what's that new film of his where we will be insufferably subjected to Shia LaBeouf having sex or something?
Nymphomaniac.
Oh, gads.
You know what? I will, and I have gone on record as defending Von Trier, but...
Yeah.
With what was the one with Gainsbourg?
Oh, Antichrist.
He lost it.
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah.
Although the other one with Kirsten Dunst, I liked a lot.
Isn't it funny that the more that Von Trier becomes like what Haneke used to be, the more Haneke runs away from that and becomes just adorable and humanistic and wonderful and sweet.
I always found Haneke very humanistic.
Yeah. Well, Funny Games is not exactly.
Well,
that's
no,
sadistic.
It's also like this strange little experiment in how audiences perceive good and evil in movies and all that kind of stuff. That's like this weird little experiment he did.
Yeah.
We're talking not the American version, which sucks.
Well, we first off, a little bit of housekeeping. We were off last week. For those who are not on the Facebook page, you should be, because I announced that I became a father on February 1st. And hence last week was a hiatus week for me as I attempted to get sleep and get anything done.
Now, did you have an actual baby, or did you build one from scratch, like Data?
It's you know what? It's interesting. There's this kit that you buy. Mm-hmm. You go to the like Aero Hobbies in Santa Monica where they have all the D&D miniatures.
That's not around anymore.
Yeah, it is.
Is it really?
It sure is.
Aero Hobbies?
Nerd out, totally. Rock on, nerd
I'm not doing that.
Nerd bump. No, yeah, there you go.
Which is the one that we went to as a kid?
Aero Hobbies.
Really? It's still there?
Yeah. No, we had a child. We had a beautiful little daughter on February 1st. And I want to express my deepest thanks and gratitude to all of the people who wished me congratulations and good wishes on the Facebook page. It was very touching. And I'm a mush now. Every last bit of cynicism is slowly being drained out of me. It's it's sort of depressing.
There, no more Wade rants?
I'm going to see if I can get some of it back, you know. But you just look at that little face, and it just the little mushy face. There's no way you can just be bitter at the world when you look at that.
It's like owning a dog times 1,000,000.
Mm-hmm. And then they make little noises, and you know.
And is the baby just like an entertainment machine? Everything she does is just like hilarious or worth looking at.
Yeah, even like the poop, even the poop and the pee. Yeah. And I gotta tell you, I mean, this will embarrass her to no end, but it'll be decades away. You know, there are times, I have to say, when suddenly a baby becomes like a water cannon spraying like protesters at some kind of a, you know, like Tahrir Square thing.
Some like Chicago political rally.
Yeah, you it's really truly terrifying. You have to jump out of the way and just dodge the onslaught. It's amazing how much they can muster that velocity. I had no idea. All these things I'm learning.
Now, are you finding out why the most stolen item in supermarkets is diapers?
Yeah, because if you run out, you got to get them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not that stupid. You know, you stock up. You go to diapers.com and you get on kind of a routine, right? You know, it's like like having a bar tab.
Now, have you used tissue paper and a stapler? Have you done that yet?
No.
You have not done that.
What?
Made that up. All right, let's talk Blu-rays. Congratulations, Wade. Please wish him congratulations on the Facebook page because it's awesome news, and he's going to make a very strange father. But you know what?
Yes,
what are you going to do?
Will. Anyway.
The father will love soccer.
Indeed. And a lot of people have asked what her first movie will be. We don't know yet, and it's going to be whatever Christy decides it will be. I mean, if we're up
I
to
think everything in that kid's life will be whatever Christy decides.
Pretty much.
You will have no say in the raising of this child.
If it were up to me, I would probably first expose her to Blonde Fury with Cynthia Rothrock. That would be my choice for her first film.
Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah, totally.
That's terrible.
Yeah, baby. Have you ever seen Blonde Fury?
No.
Come on.
Cynthia Rothrock.
Dude, it's a Hong Kong film. It's classic. It's brilliant.
All right, speaking of classic and brilliant, let's talk about Blu-rays. Now, wait, can I talk about a couple Blu-rays coming up?
Hit, knock, blow.
Because I'm not sure you know this. Now, which one are you more likely to buy?
That one.
50th anniversary edition of Cleopatra, which is now in pre-order, or from 1976, Peter Fonda, Blythe Danner, Future World, the sequel to Westworld.
No, I think I'm going to go with Cleopatra. When's Cleopatra get released? What's the date on that one?
How dare you? Future World.
Yeah, whatever.
Get with the program.
Lovely.
Oh, damn funny. Yes, Cleopatra is available on pre-order right now. It's going to be a huge set. It's going to be like one of those Digipack things that
like in May
that Fox does. Yeah, that Fox does.
It's like in May, right?
Let me see if I can find out when it is.
Yeah, Vamp.
Let's see. It's going to have a little book thing that has Cleopatra cultural history, some missing footage, a Fox Movie Channel Presents special, which I always kind of like.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, the thing is that the movie was released on Blu-ray in Europe, or part of Europe.
Right.
And now it's finally coming to domestic shores, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
But there's no date on it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Interesting.
But
okay.
We don't care about that because Future World is coming.
That's interesting that they would take pre-order. Well, anyway. All right.
Future World.
Fine.
How dare you?
Future World. Westworld. Future World.
Oh, Westworld's great. How dare you?
Oh, gosh. Have you watched it again lately?
That's probably terrible.
Yeah, they don't hold up so well.
Oh, well. There's also Scanners. Steelbook coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love Scanners.
Yep.
Criterion also released their May titles. It's exciting stuff.
Yep. A lot of good stuff.
Here's Criterion's May Blu-ray titles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to test you.
Yes.
Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being I would buy that if it was $1 quadrillion.
Yes.
And 1 meaning I don't even care if it exists in a million years.
Sure.
Here are the May Criterion Blu-ray titles. Band of Outsiders.
10.
The original 3:10 to Yuma.
Ooh, 5.
So, which means that you get it for free from Criterion, and you're happy to have it.
Look, it's a good film. It's not that good.
Something called Dubai with Glenn Ford, Ernest Borgnine, and Rod Steiger.
2.
Ooh, this is a good one. I'd get this. Medium Cool.
3.
Really?
Yeah, it's Haskell.
Oh, it's awesome.
Wow. Okay.
Haskell Wexler.
Yeah, next.
You guys have got to see Medium Cool. Because what he does is he takes the okay, forget it.
Yeah. What he does is he takes LSD and then he runs around with a documentary camera and at the end of 3 days he has to figure out how to edit it together. And
no, he basically created a fictional story out of actual events he was shooting at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago.
Of course,
it's a very unique film.
Yes, that's nice. That's a nice euphemism.
And then all right, finally, May Life is Sweet, the Michael D. film.
8.
What?
Yeah, 8. That's a. I like that film more and more as time goes by.
By the way, there's a new Mike Lee coming out.
I know. He's the best.
I got the invite for it.
You ever been to a Q&A with Mike Lee?
Yes, once.
You truly feel sorry for the person asking
I know,
questions.
he really is. He does not suffer fools, man.
Does not at
that
all.
guy.
You ask him one dumb question, he will just unleash.
He will.
He will uncork on you.
He's kind of ornery, but not in that not in that funny way. He's kind of ornery.
Not in like the Gabriel Byrne angry drunk way. No, you're correct. It's in more kind of a sophisticated professorial, I expect more of you way. Yes, exactly. Gabriel Byrne, on the other hand, you just feel like, geez, dude, really, just don't go to the pub before you go to a Q&A. Honestly. Just don't save the pint for after the show.
By the way, later on, as Wade lifts up some of these books we're talking about, they're big books.
Yeah.
We're going to be eating today on the show.
Yes, we will.
Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, hey, Mark, what did you make? Oh, no. This week's special week.
Oh, yeah.
Now, last month, actually, it's not even last month. It is last month, January. Eric Altieri sent us a recipe for a vegan blueberry cheesecake with a graham cracker crust.
Yep.
And we'll be trying that. Actually, I'll be trying that. Wade, I'm going to make you try it.
Okay.
And you're going to like it.
And we have a Vox Box today.
Can I sing the song?
Not yet.
Okay.
And also still taking submissions for new intros. So by all means, go ahead and send us your submissions for new intros to gods@digigods.com. You can also send us Vox Boxes at gods@digigods.com and send us your emails at gods@digigods.com. And for the intros, just if you want us to plug your website or your book or your life or your children, whatever, include that as well. We are happy to plug anything for our listeners. If you wrote us an intro, include your name and how you want to be introed and given credit, and anything you want us to plug, we'll do it.
We're whores.
We are whores. Or actually, we're kind of pimps.
That's true.
Nerd bump.
What? What's with the nerd bump thing?
I don't know. It's a new thing.
Now, here's the thing. I've known you for like 20 years.
Yes.
And we've never done a nerd bump.
I know.
Now, when you have a baby and all you care about are germs being transmitted from like one something to another, to you, to the baby, and the baby's sick, which like never happened.
You mean
now suddenly we're like nerd bumping?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I will say this. Yes, I'm being a very germ averse, but I'm not being a germaphobe. And it's funny, our friend Ray Green, writer director of Schlock, Ray, when he had his daughter, it turned him into like Howard Hughes. He like carries a gallon of Purell around with him, and he sprays himself down with it, and it's amazing.
I heard that Purell stuff doesn't work.
Well, you shouldn't really, because if you use too much antibacterial, the bacteria figures it out. Right?
Smart.
That's the thing. See. Got some books here real quickly before we get into the titles. Mary Pickford, Queen of the Movies, edited by Christelle Schmidt. This is a fantastic coffee table book they sent to us from the University Press of Kentucky. And I got to tell you, University Press of Kentucky does a lot of really cool movie books, but this one is just beyond. I mean, this is just a gorgeous. If you're a fan of Mary Pickford and you want the backstory on how she literally single-handedly revolutionized the film business, turned it into a business, and became one of the founding figures of the United Artists. Boy, this is just fantastic. I mean, we got pictures of her dresses and great stills and just everything. This is the definitive Mary Pickford book. One sheets, posters, her whole life story. It's amazing.
There's also
wonderful.
A lot of stuff here about people don't realize that she had a lifelong friendship, not romance, with D.W. Griffith.
Yep.
D.W. Griffith sort of brought her along.
Yep.
And also he was also integral in her learning how the business worked and learning how to direct and learning what movie making is like, and also not transitioning from that very broad acting style that was popular in silent film to like a more naturalistic. She was one of the first to do that.
And we should point out, that with all this Brangelina and all the contracted name thing, Pickfair was the original one, right?
Yes.
Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks.
Yes.
And they were the original like super celebrity couple and the original power couple, and that sort of set a model for all of Hollywood to follow ever since. But Mary Pickford, keeping in mind that she became a powerful, incredibly wealthy superstar businesswoman at a time when women
couldn't even vote.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's really extraordinary, just breathtaking, and it's a great book. Also got a couple here just from the filmmaking angle. These are soft cover, but they're like textbook soft cover, right? Like that Hardy soft cover.
It's like if you're in a film class, you'd
exactly.
pick this up.
These are from the Focal Press on producing and directing. The one on producing, speaking of Lars von Trier, they've got a picture of Kirsten Dunst there.
Yes, from the Meteor movie.
Melancholia. That's the one
the
producing.
Meteor movie. Did you see the video of the Russian meteor?
It's really funny. Corey on his Facebook page said that, and now we find out that when an asteroid enters the atmosphere, it looks exactly like Hollywood thinks it does. It's very funny. So anyway, we got one here on producing, and then another one on directing. This is the 5th edition of Directing Film Techniques and Aesthetics by Michael Rabiger and Mick Herbis-Cherrier. Quite clearly British names. And this is actually a really good book. I've never seen the previous 4 editions, but I've seen a lot of books on directing. I studied a lot of books on directing in school, and I got to say, this is what's good about this is it doesn't presume to tell you how to direct a movie. It just gives you the nuts and bolts of what the job entails and sort of gives you a good starting point. It kind of lays the foundation, but then it's up to you to be creative and to sort of know how to put it all together. So it's not like a lot of screenwriting books where it kind of tries to tell you what your taste should be and what your instincts should be. It leaves that to you, and it's a good book. It's really a good textbook.
I think I'm going to flip through this, Wade. You're going to lend me this.
Jeffrey McNabb and Sharon Swart.
Sharon Stone?
Did the book on producing. And this is interesting. It's not so much about producing as it is just interviews with producers and how they do it and how they did it, and a lot of interesting little anecdotes. And that's probably as much as you could do, since producing really is kind of an inexact science. But there's some really interesting quotes here. For example, Let me find one here. This is Marin Karmitz, who, when you see MK2, the French company, they're a sales company and producing company. Marin Karmitz has done tons of brilliant French films. A fascinating life. Anyway, there's interesting quote here. He says, "I am incapable of shooting a film in a tension-filled environment. The filmmaking environment is a very stressful and demanding one that requires a positive and creative atmosphere." Isn't that lovely?
It's so beautiful.
Could not have said it better myself.
It's like prose.
So, good books. Good
Yes.
books. Now, Mark, you know how
What's that?
This?
Yeah, what is that?
This is part of what we're going to do right now at the top of the show.
Eat cheesecake?
For a few minutes. Well, do you want to eat the cheesecake now? And then what we're going to do is I have saved up a lot of kid vid, awaiting the birth of my daughter to see if I would now be less cynical and if I would feel differently towards some of these titles that I'm always kind of dismissing.
Here's the thing. Since when you read, when you talk about kid vid, I'm going to be in the other room sleeping. Let's try some cheesecake.
Okay, you do that. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go through some of these titles.
No, the cheesecake. I thought we were doing cheesecake.
You do cheesecake. I'll do the titles. Okay, fine. Do the cheesecake.
No, you do the cheesecake, and then when the kid vid titles start, I'm going to go and go in the other room and take a nap.
Okay, fine.
Because I don't have a kid, so what do I care about?
That's all right. You'd make snarky comments.
Okay, it'll be a short nap. Blueberry Bliss cheesecake. This is what was made. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
did you really give me my water in a glass that says for an FX show hosted by Jillian Barberie?
Yes, I was the number 2 on that show. Actually, it was funny. The very first day I worked on it.
You just told me that you're number 2? That's funny.
I was the number 2.
Okay.
There's the executive on shows like that. There's the executive producer who's number 1, and then there's the supervising producer who's number 2.
So you worked with Jillian?
Yes.
She's nuts.
She is kind of nuts.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, she's not like Roseanne nuts, but she's kind of nuts. Actually, my first day on the job, my first show, we got into an argument.
Really?
Yes.
Good.
Because she, I forgot who the guest was. She, you have to introduce. There was 4 guests on the show. There was like 3 celebrities and an expert, a relationship expert, and it was like a round table discussion show. And now we're going off into a tangent.
Yes, we are.
We call this in podcasting and a tangent. So she's introducing the celebrity guest. Don't know who they were. This was like 2001 or something, and she mispronounces the guest name as the guest enters. Mm-hmm. And I want her to do it again because I don't want her to mispronounce the guest's name.
Right.
So after the show, we got into an argument about how she should be able to mispronounce the guest's name because that's her, because she's real, because that's what she really does, because it's her and it's real. And I said, well, here's the thing. It's a guest in your home. You can mispronounce it afterwards. If you want to mess with their name on 3rd reference, 4th reference, 5th, have fun, make fun, call them different names, call them jerk. Cheesecake. I don't care. Yeah. But when you introduce them, you should get their name right.
Right.
And that was what our argument was about.
Okay. All right then.
Right. Cheesecake. Here we go.
Cheesecake.
Yeah.
And?
It's good. You know what it is? Here's the thing. It's first of all, it doesn't taste. Hang on. Chewing.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't taste vegan-y. It's got cashews. It's great. Yes.
Cashews.
The filling is like half a cup of cashews.
That's interesting.
Blueberries. Banana gives it some gives it some creaminess and a little bit of heft. It's good. It's good. It is very good.
All right. Well,
it's very good.
Give
Thank
it to
you,
me
Eric Altieri. Wait, do you want a piece or not?
You know what?
How can he sent us this? You got to eat a piece of it.
I will.
I'll tell you. Here's what will happen. I'm going to go take a nap while you talk about kid videos.
Yes.
And I'll take a nap and finish this piece of cheesecake. And then when I do my rant about whatever I'm going to talk about, you can eat a piece of cheesecake.
Okay.
So, and then we can thank Eric Altieri for the cheesecake.
Babar, the movie. You know what? I would recommend Babar to anybody, even if I didn't have a daughter. I grew up with Babar. The comics, the French comics, are just fantastic. And Babar, the movie, is really an awful lot of fun. And for some reason, I had never seen this, but you know what? E1 Entertainment did a lovely job. It's old school. And how do you not love elephants? I have an interesting story about a certain Hollywood executive who doesn't think people like elephants, and I can't really share it because I'm not supposed to know that story. We have several train titles today. Chuggington is obviously one of the ongoing, I forget how to pronounce the name of this company, Ludorum, I guess it is. It's a Ludorum property.
Have I told you my theory about food? Every entree tastes better with Thai peanut sauce, and every dessert tastes better with graham cracker crust.
Yes, you have said that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Making sure it's out there.
Chuggington, of course, is like a Tomy toy, and it's a Ludorum title. Anchor Bay releases this, and this is cool. Safari Adventures with Chuggington, the train, and it comes with a little toy train, limited edition, bonus pack with train. I can't say that I really like the animation here or that I would want to expose my daughter to it, but it is relatively inoffensive.
You have a daughter?
I do. Have I not mentioned that before? And then we have a fascinating set here, Adventure Time, which I have dissed on before, and everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, wait, you got to give it a second chance." This is Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake, 16 episodes. And the thing that they sent it to us with has a little kind of a... Here, Mark, pull this thing. Here we go. This is... Look at this. They sent us a
what
little...
Is that?
It's like a flash drive deal.
You still make these? Don't you just email stuff or you send it or whatever?
I don't know. It's a thing.
It's cute. I want it.
You can have it.
Really?
Yeah, you can have that.
Right.
You want that?
Score.
Yeah, score. There you go. I gotta tell you, I'm still as neatly packaged as this is. It still kind of freaks me out a little bit. But the Fiona and Cake saga premieres on February 18th, which will probably be past tense by the time this show airs or goes live, and so this is pushing something on DVD that's going to be on television as well. So that's kind of the new thing. But Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake. I guess it's a whole new adventure. I still kind of don't get it. It still creeps me out a little bit. But maybe my daughter will love this show and convince me that it's worthwhile. I'm going to hustle this along, Mark.
Oh, no, kid. Take your time with it.
I'm going to move this along. All right, Barney, let's go to the moon. Not in a million years. Sorry. More on trains. Thomas and Friends. Muddy Matters. I just still don't get the Thomas and Friends thing either. It's also bad CGI animation. A couple of Power Rangers titles. Power Rangers Super Samurai Rise of the Bullzooka and Power Rangers Samurai A Team Divided. I forget how many different Power Rangers teams there are right now. I think there are enough to populate a small town all by themselves. They're all pretty much the same, but I have to say, just the word Bullzooka is awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know you do.
I'm going to recommend the Bullzooka.
To your daughter.
Why not? They're female Power Rangers. They kick butt. Clifford the Big Red Dog. Celebrate with Clifford. This is from Scholastic, and Clifford is just this is really kind of great old school animation. Not something that I would normally love, but I think I'm kind of growing soft on this. Got 7 stories here, including The Best Gift, Clifford's Carnival, and Clifford on Parade, as well as Screaming for Ice Cream. He's a big red dog, Mark. He's Clifford.
He's awesome.
Also from Scholastic, something I would definitely recommend to my daughter. From the Scholastic Storybook Treasures series is Stories About African American Heritage featuring March On, the Day My Brother Martin Changed the World. This is a great title for Black History Month, but it's also a great title for just kids in general because it is 13 incredibly educational stories about the country that they live in. And forget about the fact that it is Black History Month and this is an African American Heritage title. This is important. The March On, the Day My Brother Martin Changed the World is great. And then you also get Duke Ellington and more stories to celebrate great figures in African-American history, Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears, Martin's Big Words, Rosa, Ellington Was Not a Street, John Henry, Ella Fitzgerald, The Tale of a Vocal Virtuosa. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful educational thing that does not involve dogs or trains, and I would gotta get it. Get it for your kids. Let them grow and develop and mature and be smart. Animaniacs Volume 4. This is that thing that evolved out of Tiny Toon Adventures, and Steven Spielberg kind of wound up doing his own version of Looney Tunes characters. The Animaniacs are cute. The one-liners are very zippy and zingy, and it's fun. What do you want? Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rise of the Turtles. This is just the umpteenth incarnation of these damn things, and I don't know. I guess the original Steve Barron directed movie, the live-action movie, is sort of the only one that ever really kind of sort of worked for me in any way. I don't particularly care for the animation here. Just don't like it at all, so can't recommend that one. Am I still as cynical as I was before, or am I softening a little bit?
You are softening a little bit, I have to say. And I don't like how that sounds. I mean, what happens if someday we bring back Stupid for movies?
Oh, the leapfrog. We got a couple of leapfrog titles here. Scout and Friends. Look at how cute they are. Look at Scout and Friends.
They're so cute. Stupid whatevers.
Adventures in Shapeville Park and the Magnificent Museum of Opposite Words. Now, Shapeville Park, whatever. It's all, this is like a math and geometry deal. I know all about that. I'll teach my daughter with textbooks. But I got to tell you, the Magnificent Museum of Opposite Words, pretty cool. Like, Mark, give me an example of two opposite words.
Jumbo shrimp.
No, big and small. We're not looking for like euphemisms or
military intelligence.
No, it doesn't have to be a phrase. It's just two words like big, small, black, white.
Oh, two opposites.
Yeah,
but
Mark
isn't
Wade.
Jumbo shrimp an opposite?
But it's a phrase. It's a complete phrase.
Oh,
it's
so
it's
two words
compound.
it's
a compound concept.
Got it. Okay,
we're not getting that complicated. This is for small. This is for 2 to 5 years of age.
How about obsequious? Speaking of obsequious, the only reason why I know, use, or even remember the word obsequious.
Do not tell me. Do not tell me it's from the Big Easy, from the scene with Dennis Quaid.
No.
Where Dennis Quaid has to look it up because Ellen Barkin called him obsequious.
No. Oh, no.
You remember that, right?
Whatever, sure.
Okay.
But this goes far back. In an early Steve Martin album, he let me see if I can pick. Hang on a second.
While you're babbling, I'm going to carry on with.
No. I'm going to try to play for you the reference from an old Steve Martin bit where he uses the word obsequious. I wonder if I should do this on headphones so you can do it. Hang on a second.
Okay.
I mean, don't hang on. Keep talking. I'm going to find
keep talking. Two more titles from Scholastic that are worth mentioning. One is The Red Hen, and the other is Stone Soup. That's Stone Soup and Other Stories from the Asian Tradition, and The Red Hen and More Cooking Stories. A lot of great stuff here. The stories on The Red Hen are really great. Lily Tomlin and Michael McKean and a lot of other people narrate these. Jane Yolen and
Melly Mel Steve?
Yes, exactly. Those are really cute. The Stone Soup stuff is terrific. B.D. Wong and a lot of others do the narration here. B.D. Wong, who I was just watching yesterday on a couple of reruns of Law & Order, which, by the way, is on 27 different channels at the same time, all day long.
This is the song, by the way, where he says obsequious, and I'm going to find it on this YouTube video. I'm going to play it.
So those are educational and worth watching. And then we've got PBS Kids, Wild Kratts, Lost at Sea. Kind of odd. I'm not all that well exposed to the Kratt brothers, and I understand this is meant to be sort of nautically educational, but I kind of don't get it. PBS Kids, you're mystifying me a little bit. Similarly, kind of underwater-ish is Nickelodeon's Bubble Guppies, which is just straight up cute and goofy and very, very derivative of a million other animated things, including Finding Nemo. And it's okay. There's a bunch of episodes here, including Firefighter Girl to the Rescue, the Grumpfish Special, Call a Clambulance. Ha ha hee hee. Not all that educational, just sort of diversionary.
Wait, I'm ready with the song.
Okay, one more here before I let you do that thing. Elmo's World, All Day with Elmo. I would normally love this, but I'm having a really hard time in the wake of all of the child molestation or pedophilia stuff that's been going on with the Elmo thing.
I know, isn't that just that just took the most bizarre?
It just took all the wind out of the whole thing, and really I'll get over it because Elmo does transcend whoever does the voice. But I feel sorry for everyone involved and
that great documentary. Now that documentary is like it just seems like another guy.
Yeah, it's just sad. Anyway, all right. So I got a few more of these, but go on.
Well, Well, here's the thing: is that I'm going to play this. I don't know how loud it's going to sound as I play it over the microphone. So Wade might have to edit this later.
Sure, whatever.
If it's too loud or too soft, but I'm going to attempt to play for you the only reason why I know the word obsequious. It is from a Steve Martin bit from his album Let's Get Small. And Let's Get Small was, I'm going to guess, and say Let's Get Small was released in 1977. You ready? Here we go, Wade.
Do it.
Be thoughtful and trustful and childlike. Be witty and happy and wise. Be honest and love all your neighbors. Be obsequious, purple and clairvoyant.
Okay,
that was called Grandmother's Song.
That's beautiful.
Be obsequious, purple and clairvoyant.
All right, we're almost halfway through the show, and I've got to finish up the kid vid so we can get to some real stuff in a Vox box. SpongeBob SquarePants Extreme Karate.
I like SpongeBob.
Karate.
I like SpongeBob.
That's karate.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, the SpongeBob will not be in my house.
SpongeBob.
I will not expose my daughter to SpongeBob. I don't particularly care for it. Thor: The Legend of the Magical Hammer has nothing to do with the Thor that you see on in the Marvel comics. This is just an animated thing that was thrown together. It ain't bad. This is a Nordic thing. They actually are kind of like trying to. These are
who would win in a superhero?
These are
fight?
Norwegian animators. They're kind of trying to reclaim Thor from America.
Who would win in a superhero fight, Thor or SpongeBob?
SpongeBob. Anyway, this is cute.
Squeezy sponge water all over
This is
Thor.
cute.
And
This has
Thor
been-
would freak out.
Yeah, totally. This has been on Vudu. It is an exclusive at Walmart and being released by Arc Entertainment. And these are Norwegian animators who are just sort of trying to reclaim their cultural heritage. My daughter will undoubtedly want to watch Angelina Ballerina and Dora. Now, Dora's butterfly ball and Angelina Ballerina dance around the world are not my idea of what I would want my daughter to be. I want her to play soccer and do slide tackles, but I'm sure she will probably be really dainty and My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, Pinkie Pie Party. I'm sure I'm going to be just inundated with this as well, won't I?
Pinkie Pie Party? That's bizarre.
Pinkie Pie Party. Madly Madagascar is an all-new Madagascar adventure. I'm not fond of the Madagascar thing. I just kind of don't get it, and I don't care for it, and I don't like the characters, and I really only like the penguins, and like all the rest of the stuff, the only good thing about this are the penguins.
Stupid penguins.
Love the penguins. Rootin' Tootin' Wild West. Yeehaw. This is a Nickelodeon title that has a whole bunch of their all-stars on it. From Team Umizoomi and Dora the Explorer and Fresh Beat Band, Go Diego Go, Wonder Pets, Bubble Guppies. They're all on here. It's kind of a little potpourri with a Wild West theme. And yeehaw, look at Dora with her little bracelet and her cowboy hat. It's just
the only Dora I know is the one from the Robert Smigel film.
It's more theme-oriented. Got another Barney title here. Barney Loves You. Yeah, I'll bet you do. You're not coming into my house. No way, no how. Another toy train is in the Thomas and Friends Full Steam Ahead set. Again, I'm not a big fan of Thomas, but they're like with the Chuggington, they include a little toy train here. The thing that's lame is that if you buy the Chuggington set with the toy train, the bonus toy, and then you buy the Thomas and Friends set with the bonus toy Full Steam Ahead, they don't connect. You can't make one train out of the two different toys.
Honestly, that's an outrage.
It is an outrage.
I would call my congressman.
Standardize that for crying out loud.
What the H?
Martha and Friends is a creepy thing. This is a creepy-ass thing. I had no idea it even existed. Did you know that there was like an animated Martha Stewart? Martha's Magnificent Egg. And the worst thing about this is that it at a certain point in this animated cartoon, the little animated Martha, it's revealed that she embezzled the animated egg, and they put her into a little animated prison cell for the rest of the episode.
What? Who are you?
I don't know. Missy Mila, Twisted Tales, Volume 2. This is not such great animation, and this is from Organa. It's okay. There's a bunch of episodes of a show I've never heard of before. Mila is this little girl who is very tomboyish, and this is all about her adventures. And whatever. It's meant to be kind of. It's a little bit like fractured fairy tales, except they're not fractured. Mm-hmm. She tells you fairy tales and stories. It's kind of not the greatest thing. Also from the Kids Collection, Volume 3 is Iris, the Happy Professor. This is what people do when they try to do Muppety things that never elevate to the level of Muppets. Aww. They wind up coming up with these mutated-looking puppets.
He's eating a pepper for some reason.
Why
is he eating a pepper?
It's an apple. It's supposed to be an apple.
Oh, like a pepper.
Yeah, it's an apple. All these people who are kind of trying to do the Muppet thing don't. Two more from Nickelodeon on their little Let's Learn series, ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Whee! I'm sure I'll probably have this in my house as well. These are also compilations like the Rootin' Tootin' Wild West. You get, again, Team Umizoomi and Dora and Blue's Clues and Go Diego and on and on and on and on. Nihao Kailan is on the ABC's one. Wonder Pets. Yeah, fine. More theme-oriented stuff from Nickelodeon. They do a good job.
I'm on the Facebook page, Wade. I'm on the Facebook page right now.
Lastly...
Why are you not on the Facebook page? What's wrong with you?
Lastly...
Just because you have a baby doesn't mean you can't be on the Facebook page.
There's a whole series of BabyFirst titles here, and I'm going to recommend the whole batch of them because these are the ones I'm going to hang on to. This is actually really good stuff. It's educational, and it's stimulatory, and it's not just kind of,
what?
It's stimulatory.
That's not a word.
It teaches them things. It's good. It's like, it's developmental.
Not a word.
It's developmental.
Not a word.
And art and music, sensory Wonderland, numbers around the globe, baby class, color crew, the best of BabyFirst, Harry the Bunny, Shushaby Baby, and Sweet Dreams, calming music and imagery. All of this stuff really comes in handy. If you get this entire set, and you have a kid, I tell you, I'm looking at this now. I would have just been dismissive of this before. I'm looking at it now. I'm like, you know what? That's going to come in handy. I will get.
See, the cynic is gone.
I will get sleep. I will get sleep thanks to that. And then, lastly, when she's old enough, which will be in about a year or two, I'm going to expose her to Shakugan no Shana.
Shaka Khan?
And to this new, incredibly cool installment in the Blood franchise, Blood Sea. This is great anime about butt-kicking women, and bravo to Funimation for that. The one I will not expose her to is Panty and Stocking, the complete series. Now, that's Panty and Stocking with garter belt.
Oh, well, thank God.
This is made for men. I just want you to understand that. And what's really creepy here is that there's a big sticker on this box that says includes new U.S. extras and the Panty and Stocking in sanitary box. Okay. Thank you.
I'm all about ignoring that.
And you should. So, that being said, what now? What next?
I don't know. You're the keeper of the DVDs.
Films. We were not on last week. Let's talk about actual movies.
What? Movies?
Yes, movies. Real movies. Here we go. And actually, first, I have to do a mea culpa, which we try not to do too much of here because we're proud. But some weeks ago, I dismissed a Jackie Chan double feature from the good people over at Shout Factory, which had The Protector on it, and I said, nope, you don't get Jackie Chan's cut of The Protector on this. And it turns out that the title I was sent did not have they resent it, actually, second time with the bonus disc that was not on it the first time. For whatever reason, there is a bonus disc that has the Jackie Chan cut of The Protector. However, it's a DVD, not a Blu-ray. So, got to tell you, I still have a problem with it because the Jackie Chan cut is the better cut, and it's not cool that you get that on a DVD and not on the Blu-ray, that the Blu-ray gives you the crap version, the American version, and then Jackie's version is on DVD. So I have to take back part of my criticism, but I still can't recommend it. I still say get these movies in their Hong Kong import form. That's what I say. I like how Wade, even when he gives a mea culpa, he somehow takes it back and makes it into like his opinion. Anyway, it was a clarification more than a mea culpa. What? So Mark. Yes. All right, new movies, and this one I'm gonna let you do the heavy lifting on this because this has been a really interesting ride, hasn't it? This Oscar season. It's been an interesting ride because it's bunch of B-level films that some of them are very good. Did anyone ever see the film that you're about to talk about become the Oscar frontrunner? Did you ever imagine that in a field that contains Zero Dark 30 and Les Miserables and Lincoln, well, here's what happened. That those three would be pushed aside and that this would come up the gut? Here's what happened. Yeah. First of all, Les Mis not well liked. Which is strange because audiences love it. I mean, audiences go nuts for it. Critics didn't like it. I wrote for it for box office, and I acknowledged all of its problems. And I said, you know what? This is what the people want, so it's fine. I like it. Lincoln tried too hard. Yeah. You know, Spielberg bringing Clinton out at the Golden Globes, and it's just... Yeah. It's just people, they don't want to be forced. Yeah. It's funny because they'll be forced by Harvey Weinstein, but somehow they feel like Spielberg is above forcing them to vote for their movie. Silver Linings doesn't have a shot in hell. What was the other one you said? Lincoln. Zero Dark. Zero Dark. I feel like that would have been given more love if she didn't make a similar film 2 years ago or 3 years ago. True. Which leads us to this film. But I also think there's a Mississippi Burning factor at work there too. Remember, Mississippi Burning was going to win everything until people were like, "It's another story about white people saving black people." Which, by the way, it is. But I still like that movie a lot. But then people were like, "Oh, maybe it's not such a right." And then next thing you know, Rain Man becomes the winner. in a strange, weird, defaulty kind of way.
It's same thing with Driving Miss Daisy. It just was this nice, feel-good movie that we could all sort of like Forrest Gump.
So I feel like as Zero Dark 30, everybody who's afraid to vote for that because they feel like, I don't want to be accused of voting for a movie that has torture in it. Everybody kind of jumped from that to the other movie by the same editor that's also kind of political, but it's there's enough distance, right? And that movie is in your hand.
That's my boy.
That's it.
Argo, which is presumably will win the Oscar.
Certainly looks like it right now, which I would not have dreamed. I would not have dreamed 3 weeks ago.
No, because you know what? I mean, it is a terrific film.
Sure, it is.
No doubt about it. I mean, I cannot recommend this as a rental highly enough when it comes to buying it. Buy it if you love it, and if you love it, you're thoroughly justified in loving it. I totally get it. I think it's funny. I wonder if the Academy is almost going to make up for the fact that people are saying that they're a little out of touch for not nominating Ben Affleck for Best Director. Now that we have upwards of 10 Best Picture nominees, and we'll always have 5 Best Director nominees for all time, for at least as long as there's 10 Best Picture nominees, we're always going to have Best Pictures whose directors are not nominated.
True.
That's going to happen forever now. I mean, it's not just like some Bruce Beresford trivia question.
No, it's going to be much more.
All the time
yeah,
now.
it will. It will happen all the time.
And I don't have to tell you what Argo's about. You already know what it's about. I think it's terrific. I think that what Affleck does here, which is very difficult, which he almost completely slam dunks, is he takes a movie with different tones. Mm-hmm. He's got the thriller. He's got the inside Hollywood thing. There's a little bit of a snarky comedy aspect going on. These are 3 completely different sort of approaches, sort of genres. He manages to meld them fairly smoothly. It's a complicated emulsion, but he winds up melding it into a really enjoyable film.
He does. I mean, apart from the finale, which I felt was a little bit too forced, the cross-cutting and the it was a little too Delta Force.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I felt like Chuck Norris was going to jump out at any given moment with machine gun and try to shoot them off the tail of the plane.
Now,
but
if I could talk about that for a second, when I saw that, I thought, you've got to be kidding me. Why is he forcing this into the film?
Yeah.
But then I wonder, and I don't know that this was the reason why they did it, but it might be the reason that has emerged, whether such a Hollywood ending is almost serves the theme of the film or serves the undertow of the film, which is that isn't it great how Hollywood can save the country, how Hollywood can save us, how Hollywood can save lives?
You might be overthinking it a bit. I mean, the fact that they are literally racing to get on the plane before they piece together the shreddings from the shredder that shows them the face. It's like, oh, come on, really? I mean, you're shoehorning tension into the climax of the film that would never be there.
And it was. I mean, in the actual story, they just got on the plane and left.
Yeah.
You know,
and there's a better way of doing that. So I think on that level, the script gets a little bit weak. It kind of cops out at the end. But that being said, up to that point, I thought it was a terrific film.
Yeah,
really
terrific film. And it looks great. It's available on Blu-ray, DVD, and wait, hang on, Ultraviolet. You got to have the Ultraviolet.
Yeah.
You got to have a little of the Ultraviolet. Anyway, there's a feature-length commentary with Ben Affleck and Chris Terrio, and there's a couple of featurettes on this thing. And I like this film. This film's just terrific. It's a good old, you know what it is? It's just a good old crackerjack time of movies.
And the other big release this week, which is turning out to be kind of an Oscar favorite all of a sudden for cinematography. Wouldn't it be bizarre? A James Bond film wins cinematography?
Well, Roger Deakins, who finally embraces digital.
He nailed it. Roger Deakins' Skyfall, the latest James Bond film, which is officially now the most successful Bond film in the history of the franchise. It's a terrific film. It's really great. I mean, I have a few logical problems with it, but it's relatively minor. I mean, like the fact that these guys are roaming around Turkey with the names of all the agents sitting on a laptop that could just be easily.
Well, it just. You know what it is? Here's the thing. That's not what bothered me. What bothered me is the fact that that's exactly the same plot as the first Mission Impossible film.
Yeah.
With a knock list. But I'll say that people are saying that this is the best Bond film. I'm going to say this. I don't know that it's the best Bond film, but it is the most satisfying Bond film.
I will agree with that.
When this was over, I was like, my God, they slam dunked this thing. This is so fun, so satisfying.
And what's partly satisfying about it is it dovetails into a fourth act, which a lot of movies don't. Most movies are like, 3-act structure. Screw the 3-act structure. 4-act movies, 5-act movies are where it's at because there's always a more satisfying element that kind of comes in after the meal. There's a dessert. There's prologues and epilogues to these things that give them greater satisfaction and complexity. And that's what I think is great about this, is that the Skyfall Lodge sequence at the end is a whole additional act of the film that you didn't see coming. And it is great. It is terrific. And they take risks, and it's really good. And this is a Blu-ray DVD digital copy set. Ultraviolet, of course, and it's terrific. It's beautiful. Everything that Deakins does with the cinematography that was so amazing is just as amazing on the Blu-ray. You absolutely must get this on Blu-ray, not on DVD. It is sensationally good looking.
And by the way, I have to say that part of the reason why an extra 5% of Skyfall's positive response is because Quantum of Solace was so horrible.
Yeah, true.
One of the worst in the series.
True.
So you're like, is this thing dead now? And here's the thing. You have Quantum of Solace, and you're like, this is by far one of the bottom 3 Bond films ever.
Yeah.
And then you hear that Sam Mendes is directing this new one called Skyfall.
Yep.
You're like, Sam Mendes?
I know.
That guy doesn't direct these sorts of movies.
I know.
And then it turns out that it's
great.
fantastic.
Well, tons of featurettes on here. I mean, everything you could possibly want. It's just featurette bonanza. It's a featurette palooza. And a couple of commentaries, one with Sam Mendes and the other one with Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson and the production designer. And it's great. I just can't say enough about it. This and Argo and the next one you're going to talk about are the must-buy titles this week.
By the way, before we get to that, if you have Netflix, there is a documentary on the James Bond franchise that's pretty good. It's called Everything or Nothing, I believe is what it's called.
Uh-huh.
And it is about the making of the franchise, and it's got some stuff on Ian Fleming and some stuff on Broccoli and Wilson and how they met. And of course, a bunch of stuff on what's his name, the guy who was involved in Thunderball and tried to steal the franchise away.
Oh yeah,
that
right.
guy
who's dead now. He's dead, but
somehow he's still suing.
No, it's true. He's dead, but they're still well. This is the reason. And this gets into a tangent that we don't need to get into. But this is the reason that they haven't brought back Blofeld into the series. This is the reason that they took Spectre and turned Spectre into Quantum, right?
Right.
Because Spectre and Blofeld are all part of they were introduced in films that idiot has
Thunderball.
In Thunderball, where he has the rights. And so they've been afraid to run afoul of all that stuff, even posthumously, which is silly. I think bring back Blofeld, damn it. Ben Kingsley, Blofeld, or Philip Seymour Hoffman, Blofeld.
Yes,
Either way,
Philip
do it.
Seymour Hoffman would be great.
He'd be a great Blofeld.
The one thing that JJ, the one piece of casting that JJ's done some okay casting, some good casting in his career. One was Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. I thought he nailed that. He was one of the first guys to use Philip Seymour Hoffman as like a villain, a big movie villain. And he was good because he's Philip Seymour effing Hoffman. He's awesome. Speaking of Philip Seymour Hoffman, The Master is out on Blu-ray, and The Master. Here's the thing: I almost revere Paul Thomas Anderson, and I love this movie too. I think this is a great film. I think that ultimately, I don't know that. I think that a lot of audiences were perplexed by it. It seems like a straight two-hander, where Joaquin Phoenix plays this post-war drifter who winds up under the sway of this cult leader played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. It seemed like a two-hander, really not a two-hander.
No.
It becomes a lot bigger than that. I think that audiences were a little bit confused by it in terms of what is this film trying to tell me.
Yep.
But when you look at the performances, which are great, when you look at how beautifully it was shot, I think that even though Anderson is about a few steps away from doing like a total Terrence Malick, where he starts to make these films that are like up his own butt.
Yeah,
I feel like Anderson could be going in that direction, and that will not be a happy direction for me.
Yeah,
I feel like Anderson is at his best when he saves a little bit for accessibility. Boogie Nights, where he can still tell his stories, and There Will Be Blood was the start of it. Now you have The Master, and the arc of his movie choices.
Getting more and more esoteric
and obscure. I'm a little worried about that. Okay. But that said, there's a lot of great stuff in The Master, and I enjoyed it very much. And Wade, here's the thing. Here's all we care about.
What do we care about?
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I love this movie. I think it's great. I think it's terrific. I think it's one of the best films of last year. I think the 70mm photography was fantastic. I wish it had been widescreen. Unfortunately, because they shot parts of the film in 35 so they could have more mobility with the handheld camera, like running through the fields, they restricted the 35 to a 1:8:5 aspect ratio, which is odd because one of the things, the 70mm to a 1:8:5 aspect ratio, because one of the things about 70 is it's widescreen. It's like anamorphic. It's big. It's 2:3:5, and that I felt was a little bit of a jip. But other than that, it's a beautiful film. And next to
great,
along with Skyfall, two of the best looking movies of the year.
Well, here's the thing: the Blu-ray quality, the transfer,
it's outstanding.
Unbelievable.
It is.
Gore,
it's really good.
Just audio is fine too. Extras could have done better on the extras, but all I can say is that the film is fantastic.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, this Hotel Transylvania thing, Blu-ray, DVD, Ultraviolet, CGI animation has just made people so lazy, and this thing is just, it's like cookie cutter stuff. It's the monster mashup, and that's meant to be a pun, that it should never have been. This was done previously by Rankin and Bass back with Mad Monster Party, which was a claymation or a stop motion effort. And Mad Monster Party is terrific. It's really good. Hotel Transylvania is just all obvious jokes, and it's not very clever, and the animation is just very boilerplate, and I just don't much care for this. You're supposed to celebrate this because they have some interesting voice casting, including Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, and Kevin James and Steve Buscemi, CeeLo Green, but tons of extras, featurettes, commentary, blah, 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 but it doesn't really do anything for me. This is just very, very tepid, and I almost feel like they wanted to kind of be Tim Burton-y, but not too Tim Burton-y, and they wound up being not having no personality whatsoever. Also worth mentioning is Anna Karenina. This is an odd movie, and I still haven't decided really what I think about this. Did you watch Anna Karenina?
I did not.
You know, boy, it's really interesting. I mean, Joe Wright, who I like a lot normally, who did wonderful work with Keira Knightley in two films.
Star Wars.
Exactly. No, in Pride and Prejudice and in
Star Wars.
Atonement.
Correct.
Which I like. Both of those films very,
I like
very
Atonement
much.
a lot. It's good.
I do too.
That twist ending, yeah.
It's great.
Kicks
Well,
your butt.
in Anna Karenina, they kind of try to do this. I mean, the whole thing takes place in an opera house, but it's not like really entirely in an opera house. Like there's almost a fantasy element to it, but yet it still feels very stagey. And it's a fascinating kind of an experiment, but I don't know that it quite works. There's an interesting feature commentary with Joe Wright where he tells you all about why it's supposed to work and why you should think that it works, but I'm not sure that it does. Still, I found it very engaging. It's beautifully shot. That makes 3 movies this week that are just dazzling on Blu-ray, and it really is just gorgeous on Blu-ray. And a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, including this little time-lapse photography thing and some deleted scenes. But, worth watching. I just don't know if I can recommend an ownership of this particular thing. I don't know.
When you say what?
I don't know that I can recommend that people buy it.
Got it.
See, when I say an ownership, that's what I meant. And then The Man with the Iron Fists. Wow, this is
terrible.
You know, it's just
terrible.
It's terrible. Why is Russell Crowe in this movie?
Russell Crowe's he's got to watch it, man. That guy's gonna, look. Les Mis was a updating of his resume, which is great, and he's in Superman, which is good too. But I think that guy's moment might be over.
This is just a totally. First of all, the RZA loves martial arts movies. We know that, right?
Yes.
What up, Bill Murray? The RZA loves martial arts movies, and so does Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino presented this thing where the RZA got to direct his ultimate kind of Hong Kong riff, ultraviolet martial arts movie. And this, of course, is a Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy, ultraviolet set. But it's not fun like a Hong Kong movie, and it's not even like a Big Trouble in Little China thing.
Ooh, I love that movie.
It's not even that kind of an American homage. It's just too much. It's excessive. It's almost like the RZA doesn't really know what he likes or what's really cool about Hong Kong films. And somehow Lucy Liu and Russell Crowe wind up in this thing, and they are both completely wasted. So, I don't know. You also get Rick Yoon, who's usually a lot of fun, but not in this. I don't know, man. It's just too much. It was like not fun.
Couldn't agree with you more there, Wade. Whatever you said.
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to you. Anyway, here's an offbeat recommendation for the week rental. little movie called Robot and Frank. Now, Robot and Frank...
It's a fun little film.
Yes.
This is one of the few films from Sundance last year that did not feel like a little cheap indie. There's really kind of a cool, futuristic-y... Like, this is a smart little independent science fiction film that looks like it cost more money than it did. I respect that.
Yes, because it takes place in the near future, where there's like big screen Skype and skinny automobiles. Anyway, Frank Langella plays a retired burglar, and he has this robot, and the robot is his friend.
Gift from his son.
He's
the
like
robot
5 feet
is.
tall. Yes,
The robot's supposed to care for him in his old age, but he winds up putting the robot in the service of his previous life's vices.
Yes, that's why it's cool. So, no, you know what? It's funny, and it feels real, and Frank Langella is having an interesting little, late career moment with this and with the other one starting out in the evening. And it's just irresistible. It's charming. It's funny. It's a good little movie. It's a good little movie. I would very, very, very highly recommend Robot and Frank. We have the DVD. Don't know if it's on Blu-ray, but you don't need it on Blu-ray. If you can find it on DVD just to rent,
it's fine.
I'd give it a shot. I think it's a nice little movie. Robot and Frank.
Robot and Frank, good deal.
Robot. It's
Robot.
I don't trust people who pronounce robot.
Yeah, like Gene Roddenberry. He did. Gene Roddenberry would say robot.
What? How does that happen?
Because Gene Roddenberry talked like this, and we had introduced the idea of a robot.
By the way, on the net, there's a because I had to watch this because I'm a big freaking loser nerd.
Mm-hmm.
They had 41 minutes of Star Trek outtakes.
No, you are.
It's about I think it's like 10 minutes from each of the Star Trek shows.
You are a sad
not
man.
including the original series. I only watched the Next Generation bloopers. The rest I don't care about.
Paul Dano did 2 really good performances last year. One was in Ruby Sparks, which I just love. In fact, I saw that. I always see the co-director of that film in Little Miss Sunshine. I always see him in the market. He was like fondling cabbage 2 days ago.
You mean
we were both
in a sexual sense, or
no, just fondling cabbage?
Well, who wouldn't?
Yeah. Anyway, For Ellen is the other one. Paul Dano, John Heder, and Jenna Malone. You know what? This is really interesting. This is from Tribeca Film and New Video. And Paul Dano basically plays a kind of a mid-level. I mean, he's not like a really successful rock star musician, but he's mid-level. And it's a kind of about a custody battle over his little daughter. And it's very, very touching. The story is a little bit aimless, but I won't tell you. The nuances about the custody battle get into kind of a contrivance with the papers, and you sign the papers and all this. But it's really just about a father's love for his daughter, and how these people who kind of come from the margins of what you would call parental responsibility are still, human beings, and what it takes to actually kind of elevate yourself to the level of a parent. And I got to say, I have a newfound appreciation for this film now, even though I liked it when I first saw it. So you get a little behind-the-scenes thing on here. It's only one featurette, but otherwise a really, really good film from Tribeca Film. And they come out with a gaggle of indie films every month, but this is one of the better ones they've had in recent years. And then, I'll let you launch on that one, because I don't like that movie at all.
Really?
No.
The Sessions is multi-Oscar nominated. It's the story of a 38-year-old guy played by John Hawkes, who's emerging as one of the best actors around. Very versatile and always very good. He plays a guy with polio, and he spent almost all of his life in an iron lung, which means he had never had sex. And so he decides to hire a sex surrogate, played by Helen Hunt, who's almost 50 now, to help him actually have sex, because the guy's been living in an iron lung. And I think this movie might be a little overpraised, but I think it's terrific.
I don't care for it.
I think it's the type of story that could be done many different ways, and they wind up finding a way that is funnier than you would think, definitely touching. And William H. Macy plays this.
That's the part that bugs me.
It kind of bugs a little bit, just because he feels like he's in there just so that the character can voice certain opinions to the audience,
and so that we can enjoy a priest who says go for it. Come on, please, a long-haired priest who says go for it.
By the way, can you just finally admit that? Can somebody finally admit that William H. Macy looks just like Dave Barnblatt? Can somebody just admit that? Because Dave won't admit that.
I never heard you say that.
Seriously, don't you think that William H. Macy looks just like Dave?
Give me some time to kind of chew on that.
I'm going to call up photos of each, and you're going to you're going to agree with me. Anyway, The Sessions is on Blu-ray. It's nominated for Helen Hunt's nominated for an Oscar, isn't she? Yes, she is.
Yep.
And so it's good. It's a good movie. It's a nice movie. It's a Sundance movie. It's that kind of a film. But I thought it was a nice little touching, funny movie.
Doesn't work for me, but I appreciate that you like it.
Because you have absolutely no emotions. You're a loser.
Perks of Being a Wallflower was something that I actually missed throughout awards season. Even though I really adore Emma Watson, I just didn't get around to it. And I thought it was going to be another one of these kind of teeny-tweeny things. And, it's based on a novel and blah, 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 blah. So I kind of skipped it. And actually, I'm sorry that I did. It's a cool kind of inside kids movie. I have to say that it almost feels like it belongs in the John Hughes camp a little bit. In the sense
it's very it's a little cloying, a little self-aware, but there's stuff in it that I like.
But I'd rather have it be self-aware than pandering.
That is true.
And
it definitely doesn't pander.
No, it definitely doesn't pander. And I thought it was intelligent, well put together, and it's got a really nice little style to it. Which is interesting because it was directed by the guy who wrote the book, Stephen Chbosky, who also does a commentary. And then there's also a cast and director commentary that includes the lovely Emma Watson, who is so smart, and some featurette stuff and deleted scenes, and even dailies. It's a sharp little movie. I don't know if I'd recommend it for purchase, but definitely worth a rental somewhere down the line. And Mark, it's time for our Vox Box.
What? Vox Box? It's Vox Box.
Hi, this is Clark from Connecticut, and I love your show. I know you're not a big fan of ultraviolet and the concept of a digital locker. And true, setting it up has made me feel like a character from Brazil. But the quality of high def is great, and $5 to upgrade from DVD to 1080 is about my personal price point. One intriguing notion is the thought of getting free upgrades to the movies I am accessing as studios create cleaned up versions. Do you know anything about that? I upgraded, for example, my DVD copy of Frantic. If a new high-def transfer is done, will I automatically get it? Thank you, and keep up the fabulous work.
Thank you, Clark Aldrich. That's a really, really good point. And here's my I think, and I'll let Mark speak for himself, but here are some of my personal qualms about ultraviolet. I'm not certain that it is the standard that is always going to be the standard. And one of the problems that we've had with digital copy up to this point is that some digital copies would work on your iPhone and your iPad, and others would not. They'd work on your PC, and some you had to have like Adobe Flash, and others you had to have this, and this codec and that codec. And anyone who does video editing knows that it is an ongoing nightmare to have to keep track of all the different codecs, because this new camera uses this one and goes to this card, and this one has this and this kind of compression. And there's no standardization. Everyone is looking for that video standard that they can then own and force everyone else to pay them licensing royalties, and no one wants to do that, so everyone keeps inventing their own standards. And so the codecs there's no PDF in the video world. There is no PDF in the video world, and there needs to be. And I'm not sure that ultraviolet is that PDF. Not everybody has signed on to it, and there are a lot of great things to it, and Clark just talked about one of them. I mean, yes, you get that constantly upgraded digital locker format access to it, but I don't know that it's always going to be there. It feels like it might be the Betamax of the digital locker world.
I want to buy a Blu-ray and do whatever the F I want with it.
There you go.
Play it on my iPhone.
Yeah.
Put it in the cloud.
Yeah.
Play it at a buddy's house. Play it on my iPad. I don't have to worry about digital lockers and all this other stuff.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's a piece of content that I bought, and I should be able to do whatever I want with it, up to but not including, selling, screenings to it in my living room.
And of course, the other twist is that at some point, whether we like it or not, Ultra HD, which is the kind of marketing slogan for 4K, is going to become a reality. Now, that's not going to become a reality for a long time, because people are still happy with their Blu-rays, and they're very happy with their DVDs. And you don't really get anything out of a 4K television unless it's 18 feet diagonal. So, but we are going to be moving through more and more formats. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Certainly, Ultraviolet has a role to play right now. And if you're getting it along with your Blu-ray, by all means, sign up, enter that code, nail it down. You usually have about 18-month, 2-year window during which to register your Ultraviolet code. So it's not like there's a rush.
Do you remember years ago? It's like in the 50s when CinemaScope came out, when 20th Century Fox invented CinemaScope. They were willing to license it to all the studios.
Yeah.
You can use this lens system.
Yeah. Because we want it to become standardized.
Yes. The only studio that did not sign off on that was Paramount. Because they came up with their own system, Panavision.
Exactly. And
to me, Ultraviolet's like Panavision. Let's just get one guy doing one thing that we can all agree on, and we can all get on with our lives.
Absolutely.
That's what I say.
All right, I'm with it. All right, with
Wade,
that,
eat cheesecake. We're going to stop the show right now so Wade can eat Eric Altieri's cheesecake because it was good.
Thank you, Eric. I'm going to dive into your cheesecake because Mark says it's good because it has cashews, which freaks me out a little bit because I can't really have cashews, because I break out. Cashews and peanuts, I break out.
Please eat cashews. Please,
Okay.
I can take a picture.
All right,
Put it on
fine.
Facebook.